You can expect a rainy morning commute across so much of the Northeast as soaking rains are moving your way. Hello, I'm Paul Emmett.
And I'm Kim Perez. And on the West Coast, you've had a very hot Sunday, and the wind is a big story in the Northern Plains tonight. But we'll begin with the rains in the Northeast. Your weekend in Pittsburgh is wrapping up on a rainy note. It started raining here late this afternoon, and you've had moderate to heavy rain throughout the evening. Now, fortunately, most of the rain will have moved on in time for the morning rush hour. Well, skies cleared finally in Tampa today. There's still plenty of standing water, though. Heavy rains that began on Friday caused flooding that forced people from their homes. Now, some of them have ventured back in their houses today to begin the tough job of cleaning up. Doesn't look like fun, does it, Mike?
No.
That's Mike Seidel here. All right, well, looking in Florida right now, looking pretty good. Actually, Tampa, no rain in sight. It's all to the southeast. That southwest flow aloft has shifted some of that tropical moisture southward. Now it's over South Florida. So Dade County, let's see, even Pembroke Pines, up towards Broward County. We're looking at the rain tonight continuing. And it looks like even some rain off towards the Keys. So we'll continue with that steady stream from the southwest. So it looks like a pretty wet night tonight. Now, our upper level system that has been parked over the southeast is finally moving towards the northeast, and so is the rain. We're finally getting rid of all that rain in Georgia and in South Carolina. Now the rain has moved into North Carolina and farther northward into the northeast. A few showers and thunderstorms dying down along the coastal area. Some good news there. Look how cool the temperatures were, though, with the cloud cover and some of the precipitation. 68 at Hartsfield. Pretty cool. 69 at Raleigh-Durham, 68 at Washington, D.C. So with the cloud cover, we kept it cool, and it wasn't cloudy. It was pretty warm. 81 in Cincinnati and 82 in Nashville. And some of these temperatures in the southeast were well below average today. Very cool here. Now what's happening is we finally have another system in the upper levels coming eastward that's kicking this thing out. It's giving it the boot, pushing it northeastward. But that just means some nasty weather now moving into the northeast. So Pittsburgh all the way to Philadelphia into New York City tonight is not the night. We're looking at rain all the way through the evening, and we're looking at heavy amounts of rainfall, especially where you see the little yellow areas here. We're looking at very heavy rainfall, and even some Doppler estimates have already shown us at least 2 inches of rain have fallen from Charleston northward up towards Pittsburgh. So the rain continues tonight. The Pennsy Turnpike, the Jersey Turnpike, it's going to be a wet commute. Eventually all this rain will be heading towards Boston into tomorrow. Now, a little closer investigation here, looking from Youngstown eastward. Cleveland, you're okay. It's not until that next front comes through. Now, what's this next front about? You're saying, Kim, what are you talking about? Well, here comes the next one. That's right. And with it, we're seeing the rain now moving into Cincinnati, into Detroit, later on tonight into Columbus and into Cleveland. And a lot of that rain now is somewhat behind the front. So you will see a wind shift. You will get some gusty winds, as we're seeing very gusty winds here in the Northern Plains, the upper Midwest. And Paul's going to talk about that. Paul.
That's right, Kim. 2 big stories across the West. One, record-setting heat on the West Coast and getting blown away literally in the Northern Plains with some windy conditions. But what's the deal? Where's it all coming from? We'll have a look at this setup here for the North Central U.S. wind machine. Remember this, a basic rule, winds always blow from high to low. And the tighter you put the gradient, it's called the PGF, pressure gradient force there, the tighter the gradient between the high and the low, the stronger the wind. We have very windy conditions across the upper Midwest tonight. In Minnesota, your winds now gusting 34, 35 miles an hour at times. Some of the sustained winds in the 20s. Tomorrow, things will work back up. It may calm down a bit tonight, but still expect windy conditions, especially North Dakota and in Minnesota. Around Minot, the Air Force Base there, also Grand Forks. 35, 40 mile an hour winds throughout the evening now, around 35 mile an hour gusts. So very windy across the Dakotas and Minnesota tonight. Let's go back to the map and look at the current map. Anytime you see a current map on the Weather Channel, do me a favor, look at this, okay? See these lines here? The tighter these lines are together, the closer they are, the stronger the wind. The further they are apart, the wind is not as intense as it is where it's really tightly packed. Sometimes in the winter we'll show you a current weather map and you'll see those lines really, really close together. And that means you've got some really, really windy conditions. You know how it gets in the winter time when winter storms blow through. Well, this is kind of similar to that situation, that there's very tight windy conditions here across the West. It's going to kick back up tomorrow, too, a little bit. Also, a little bit of precipitation, not much, fairly quiet across most of the West. Just what's left of a smidgen of moisture behind the front is being wrung out. Not heavy rains here in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, Just some light showers, a few light showers popping up into parts of Wisconsin. No big deal. Something that was a big deal was the big time heat across the west. Look at this, LA 96. That was a high at the Civic Center. That's incredibly hot to get out and do anything. San Diego 79, good day to be close to the beach there with the kind of heat that's been building along the coast. 66 to Seattle, but you had a few clouds holding on today. Records, you want to see some records? We had them, 3 to speak of in California. Lompoc 100, Oakland in the Bay Area there, 95, record high there. Also Moffett Field, 94, so the heat was on for the west. All the warm weather still in place tonight, kind of a Sunset Boulevard, hot place to be, 88 degrees tonight. Cooling off a bit as we go, 97 to Phoenix. Get over into Colorado, things are a little bit cooler. We showed you the high pressure, helping to kick some warmth toward the west, but that nice stable dome and ascending air is allowing some drying to take place. Of course, we saw the front move through, high pressure settle in, a little drier air in place across Colorado tonight. You can look and see the dew point there around 31 degrees, around 31. You look at that, you see higher dew points across the south, especially mid-Atlantic. The larger the dew point number,